here in the body shop, and one of my favorite back exercises to finish off back day is the straight arm lat pull down. In addition to working the major muscle of the back, the latissimus dorsi, it also works the teres major as well as the long head of the tricep. Both of those muscles are extremely important in joint stabilization of the shoulder as well as assisting in pulling and climbing motions. There's a lot of different varieties of the straight arm lat pull down, different body positions and things of that nature, but unfortunately you see a lot of people doing it the wrong way. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to tell if you're doing it right or seeing somebody who's doing it right or wrong, and then I'm going to share with you a technique that I use to really isolate those target muscles and get the most out of that exercise.
You want to start by facing the machine with your feet slightly apart. Grip the bar or the rope with an overhand grip. Keep your arms extended and your shoulder width apart. Fix your back and contract the abdominal core in order to maintain body position. Inhale, bring the bar to your thighs, keeping your arms extended, and it is okay to slightly bend your elbows, but for the most part you want to keep your arms straight. Exhale at the end of the movement and then return to the start. Here's an example of the same exercise, just simply done from the knees. So if your machine has a fairly low pulley or you're more stable doing it from your knees, the body position is exactly the same. The only difference obviously is that you're on your knees. Another option you've got is to use a rope handle like I'm doing here. I personally like this variation best because, as you can see, it allows me to get my hands down farther along my sides and eke out a little bit more range of motion. And in doing this, I can really feel activation of those target muscles. And here's what it looks like when somebody really is not doing it properly. You can see a lot of body sway, just horrible form. And this is usually because somebody's using too much weight. Now remember, this is a great finishing exercise. You don't need a lot of weight in order to make this move effective. And this is the type of thing I'll use a moderate amount of weight and take this exercise to failure to finish out back day. So my strategy for getting the most out of my straight arm lat pull down is simply performing it on a bench. As you can see, I set the back of the bench at an angle that's comfortable for me, position it all off that pulley, and now with my body supported on the bench, I can focus all of my attention on a good solid range of motion and target the muscle groups that I'm aiming for, and I don't have to worry about my form getting sloppy as I get fatigued. As you can see, I'm using the rope handle so I get a nice deep pull and my hands come back by my hips. At the peak contraction, I really contract my shoulder blades and I push my chest into the bench and I form what I call the Superman chest to really activate those target muscles. And in using the bench and keeping a really close eye on my form, I can turn my straight arm lat pull down into the great finishing isolation exercise that it's intended to be.
So there you go. There's my take on the straight arm lat pull down. Give the technique on the bench a try next time you're in the gym, and I'm sure you're going to find it's a really effective way to boost the intensity of that exercise. Have a great day.